brought to you by Sunbeam, makers of the new Shave Master shaver with 3 real blades for a close electric shave. The all-new Sunbeam Shave Master. Now, let's all play What's My Line?
And now let's meet our award-winning panel of What's My Line. First, the popular columnist whose voice of Broadway appears in papers coast to coast, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And tomorrow night, I'd like to announce that there will be a program on this same network called The Right Man. And I urge you all to see it because playing William Jennings Bryan in The Right Man will be one of the finest actors of our time, Mr. Martin Gabel.
Thank you, Dorothy. On my left, a girl you see far more often than I do, the perfect wife, Arlene Francis.
Thank you, dear. And now a gentleman who is about to leave after this program to address 9,000 teachers around Chicago. If you want to get out, this is your chance, the tip-off. We don't want to get out, so here he is, Bennett, Cerf.
And here's our MC, silver-tongued as a presidential candidate, as omniscient as a Wall Street security analyst, John Charles Daly.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to What's My Line, and this is the night to make the panel as happy as we possibly can, so I will tell them that they're going to have to blindfold themselves for the first part, which always upsets them. I never did understand why. We'll also have a famous mystery guest a little bit later in the program, and we'll meet our first challenger after this. All right, panel, are those blindfolds all in place?
Yes, sir.
Good. Will our first challenger enter and sign in, please? Mr. X, would you be good enough to tell us where you're from?
I'm from Saddle River, New Jersey.
Saddle River, New Jersey. It's nice to have you with us. I want you to meet the panel. They look better than this sometimes. They're all blindfolded. They're really quite a handsome group. Don't you think?
They look very becoming tonight.
Okay, fine. Then you come on over and join me, would you? I will presume that you know how we keep score.
Yes, I think I do.
All right, then we'll let the audience in the theater and those who are viewing at home know exactly what your line is. All right. Panel, we can tell you that Mr. X is salaried and he deals in a service, and we'll begin the general questioning with Dorothy Kilgallen.
Mr. X, do you work for a profit-making organization?
Well, I hope they're making some money, but of course, I'm not interested in the books.
Now, you're talking so freely, I take it that there is some other area of identification other than your voice. Is that correct? By which we would know you? It's not a very good sentence, but you know what I mean. We wouldn't know your voice. We'd know you for something else?
Well, I would hope you did.
Would we know you from having seen your picture in the papers?
There would be a possibility.
Would you ever be in uniform?
I have been at one time or another.
When you are performing your services, are you wearing a distinctive uniform?
Yes, I would say I was.
Are you engaged in sports?
Yes.
Are you in a seasonal sport?
Yes.
Is the season over?
Well, most people think it is, but it hasn't been for me.
Well, I mean, officially.
Yes, it is.
Is it over? I just don't want you to confuse
I know
me.
this isn't going to get beyond Dorothy, John.
Dora,
We all know it.
are you a member of a baseball team?
Yes, I am.
Are you a Pittsburgh?
No.
9 to go, Martin Gabel.
Were you a major in World War II?
I have been called so at times, yes.
Were you with the unit that was either at Aachen or Arnhem?
Not that I recall.
No, that gets you a no, but I must say, Martin, it was good going, though. You
I know
weren't
who
too
it
far
is.
away.
I just don't know his military service in detail, that's all.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Francis.
It's his military service that doesn't count now. It is not Casey Stengel. Bennett knows who it is, and so I'm going to pass to Bennett.
But you can't remember his name. It's
Houk. How can I help?
Ralph Houk, the new manager of the Yankees.
Ralph Houk. And I must say, Martin, you have a tremendous fund of knowledge about sports figures because Ralph was a major in the Rangers. He was in the Battle of the Bulge.
I know that.
Won the Silver Star, the Bronze Star, and the Purple Heart, but was not at Aachen or Arnhem.
Well, where were you, Mr. Howe?
Beginning with A.
Well, I was in Europe, let's put it that way.
Weren't you with the group where the generals replied to the German general's demand for surrender, said nuts?
That's Bastogne.
McCullough.
Bastogne. You were at Bastogne.
I was in that area, but actually I wasn't with that was the 101st Parachute.
101st, that's
I wasn't with them, no.
But you would have said the same thing, wouldn't you?
I might have.
Much more explicitly, too.
Mr. Houk,
Yes.
Where do you think Casey's going to end up?
Well, I know one thing. He's going to have a lot of money wherever he ends up.
I must say, I've boned up. I am not as knowledgeable about sports as, for instance, Martin is. Martin is a real sports buff, but I know that you've been with the Yankee organization, I guess, since you were a youngster, 18 or 19 years old.
21 years.
21 years altogether. You managed a Denver team.
That's right.
And now you've come to manage what certainly, I think anybody who knows anything about baseball considers one of the great baseball organizations in history. We wish you the best of luck, and may you bring as many pennants to us as Casey Stengel has.
Thank you very much.
Nice to have you in. Well, that was a big surprise to virtually nobody, wasn't it, that one we cooked up? Ooh-wee. All right, let's see what we can do with this second challenger. Would you come in and sign in, please? Boo Morrison, is that right? Now, is it Miss Boo or Mrs. Boo? Mrs. Boo. And where are you from, Mrs. Morrison?
Senatobia, Mississippi.
Senatobia, Mississippi. It's nice to have you with us. May I present our panel? Morrison, you join me over here, please. You know the score-keeping techniques. All right, then we'll let the audience in the theater and the folks at home know exactly what your line is. All right. Panel, we will tell you that Mrs. Morrison is self-employed and deals in a product. And I will be fair with you. I'm telling you, this product is a dinger. And we'll begin the general questioning with Arlene Francis.
Well, Mrs. Morrison, your product is a dinger. Is it a dinger that any of us might have known about on this panel or used?
You might have known about it. It would be depend, you know, pretty much on the areas of interest that you individually have. It's possible that one or more of you might have known about it.
Thank you, John. Is this a product that one would ever find outside the home?
Yes, it is.
Is it a product that one might hold in one's hand?
No.
That's 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mrs. Morrison, I think we can dismiss the fact that you may have played in that famous Jack Penny program, The Horn Boo at Midnight. You didn't have anything to do with it.
I would say this. You teachers in Chicago have been warned. If you show up now, it's your fault.
Mrs. Morrison, is this product ever used in connection with eating or drinking?
No, it isn't.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Mrs. Morrison, is this product solid rather than liquid?
Yes, it is.
Does it have more than one component part?
Does it have more than one component part?
No.
Well, now, wait a minute.
It's just a hunk of
More
something?
Yes.
It
Yeah,
does
I think
have.
we would agree that it is more than one component part.
If it's not found in the home, is it found out of doors wherever it's found?
Yes, it is.
Could you get into it?
No, you can't.
No, that's 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Gabel.
It's too big to hold in the hand, but you couldn't get into it. Could you not get into it because it's too small to get into?
Yes.
Yeah, I would think that it would be a little bit difficult to get into it. That makes it 4 down and 6.
That's
Oh, wait a
the-
minute. No, that's right. I'm sorry, Martin. I'm sorry. You...
I haven't been here a long time, but I remember the rules of the game. Are there other things involved in its use than human beings?
Yes.
Are they living creatures?
Yes, they are.
Are they animals?
Yes.
Are they domestic animals?
Yes.
Are they something that Mrs. Gabel and I might be allowed to have in our dwelling place?
No, I think you'd have a little trouble with this animal in your... What floor do you live on in Ritz Tower?
I don't think we ought to announce that, John.
All right. That's 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis.
Is this a four-legged animal?
Yes, it is.
Is it a fur-bearing animal?
No, it isn't.
That makes it 5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mrs. Morrison, it's a domestic animal that does not bear fur, correct?
Yes.
Is it bigger than a pig?
Yes, it is.
Is it smaller than a horse?
Well, it's too small to get into it.
A full-grown horse?
Well, I think if you throw a full-grown horse in there, we might say that it's possible that certainly some would be smaller than a horse, wouldn't you? Yes.
Does any part of this animal or what it produces get eaten?
Yes, it does.
Is part of the animal eaten?
Yes, it is.
By human beings?
Yes, it is.
By human beings in every walk of life? Wealthy ones as well as poor ones?
Yes.
We would hope so.
Is it in the cow family?
Yes, it is.
Do you make some product that is used by cows?
Yes, I do.
That's a dinger. Does it ding? Has it got anything to do with a bell?
No bells. That's 6 down and 4 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Now, Mrs. Morrison, you've said that this product has nothing to do with eating or drinking. Is that still correct? And the cow uses it. Is the cow better off because of it?
Yes, it is.
May I assume that this is not strictly ornamental?
Yes, you may.
It isn't something like an artificial tail or anything like that. Don't laugh. We had one of those. Is this something that is applied to the cow? Does it touch the cow?
It touches the cow. Yes. Mm-hmm.
I just had the funniest idea.
Say it, Doc.
What were you thinking of, a bull?
Really, Arlene.
Arlene could say it. I couldn't. Does it touch the bull? Does it touch the bull in any particular place, usually? I mean, the cow.
You're confused, Dorothy, hopelessly.
I mean, the cow. Does this product come in contact with a cow when it's being used properly in some particular place?
What? Does this come into contact with a cow when it's being used properly in some particular place on the cow?
Yes. Oh. Is this product... Would this be used when the cow wasn't feeling very well or was suspected? It could be.
Well,
Would it be anything?
but no, I think you specifically asked if it was used when the cow was not feeling well.
Or
and
might be suspected of not feeling well.
No, this condition is not prerequisite to its use. So we'll give you a no, and I'm going to give you 1 more minute. 7 down and 3 to go, Mr.
Can
Gabel.
I say what I was thinking of?
Yeah.
Is the use of your product, Mrs. Morrison, helpful to human beings as well as the cows themselves?
No, I don't think so. 8 down and 2 to go, Miss Francis.
Can we rule out things like mattresses for cows?
Mattresses for cows?
Yes, there was such a thing as a special mattress for a cow.
But you
If
could
Mrs.
get
Morrison
into it.
It's modern
Can't
farming,
get into
John.
well, let's rule that out then.
All right.
If I may. Mrs. Morrison, you have something to do with a product that's for cows. Now, is a cow...
Well, we just ran out of time. I'm going to throw the time.
One guess.
Yeah.
Does it have anything to do with keeping flies off of cows?
Yes, Bennett. By golly.
Does it?
Actually, what it
The false
is a
Fly
back
repellent?
scratcher for cows, and Mrs. Morrison developed it herself. It hangs. It's a big loop of burlap that's wound around something. It has fly repellent in it, and the cow walks underneath, and it scrapes the flies off, and what, can add 20 pounds to a cow, can't it? You know, if you keep the flies off, it keeps them healthier, and Mrs. Morrison developed it herself.
Well, now.
Congratulations.
And we'll have one rigged up in your front door, Bennett. No, but actually, it's a remarkable thing. Mrs. Morrison's husband raises cattle, and she developed this thing herself, and it's very beneficial.
To be honest, I was thinking of some kind of spray. I never dreamed of a back scratcher.
Dorothy, you feeling well?
Fine. I looked at my notes and I was wrong.
You were wrong. All right. And let me tell you what a small world this is. Mrs. Morrison, as you know, said she came from Senatobia in Mississippi. One of the first things she said to me tonight was, I went to a preparatory school in New Hampshire, Tilton School. Mr. Morrison is also a graduate of Tilton School.
Oh, yes.
Small
where
world.
you went to school.
Yeah. Thank you very much, and my best regards to your good husband.
you.
Nice to have you with us. We'll meet tonight's mystery guest in just a moment, but first, here is a word from our sponsor. And now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery challenger, for which I must ask the panel members once again to blindfold themselves. Blindfolds all in place, panel?
Yes.
sir.
Good. Will you enter mystery challenger and sign in, please? All right, panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery challenger, we go to a different form of questioning. You ask one question at a time in turn, moving clockwise. And let's begin it all with Bennett Cerf.
Last week, Danny Kaye lied on every question. I hope tonight we're going to get some facts. In pursuit of what I suppose is your fabulous income, do you ever raise your voice in song?
I think sometimes.
Miss Kilgallen.
Oh, good night. Is there more than one of you there?
Is there more than one of you here?
Well, I could rephrase that question.
No, that's 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Gabel.
Are you appearing in New York at the present time?
What?
Well, I'm here.
You mean specifically in what way, Martin?
Ignoring this program for the moment.
Should we?
But you mean here actually appearing in a live performance of some kind?
Or in television?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Francis.
Are you best known for your work in pictures?
Mr. Cerf?
Were you in a play on Broadway last year?
I don't think so.
3 down and 7 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, have you... No, she's in a picture. Are you married to anyone in show business?
Yes.
Mr.
Are you
Gabel.
Janet Leigh?
Yes.
Yeah!
We went to the opening of a show the other night.
Face of a Hero.
Face of a Hero, in which we saw a wonderful performance by Mr. Jack Lemmon. We saw Mr. and Mrs. Curtis. And since I seemed so silly the question before, I thought I'd better straighten myself out. And...
Oh, Martin, we thought we had you on the run that time.
I really thought we had you going.
The only clue that we thought you might come to was, of course, Miss Janet's appearance in Psycho. And out of the side of that, we were safe. And hereafter, Martin Gabel, stay home nights, will you?
No, I was hoping you'd ask me, you know, is the picture appearing on Broadway at the moment? And you know you had me, and I was going to say no.
To my knowledge, and not least because of the wonderful performance of Miss Leigh, Psycho, in relation to cost, is probably one of the 2 or 3 greatest hits in the history of Hollywood.
I think that's true.
And it cost plenty, too.
No, it didn't.
But I thank you very much.
And we thank you, Miss Janet, for being our guest. It's nice of you to join us in
Thank
What's
you
My
very
Life.
much. Thank you.
Will you take it? We'll have another contestant right after this word from our alternate sponsor. And now let's have another challenger. Will you enter and sign in, please? Sign in right there. Mona Neves, right? Is it Miss or Mrs.? Miss Neves, and where are you from?
From Manhattan.
From Manhattan?
Right.
Well, fine. These folks will all be, I'm sure, familiar to you then. Miss Neves, the panel, will you join me over here? And I assume again you know how we keep score.
Yes.
All right, we'll let the audience in the theater and those viewing at home know exactly what your line is. All right, we go back to the beginning panel. We will tell you that Miss Neves is self-employed and deals in a service, and we'll begin the general questioning with Martin Gabel.
Thank you. Miss Neves, I assume you're not related to a famous jockey in California named Ralph Neves, who spells it the same way you do.
You're right.
Fine. Is your service beneficial to men and women?
Yes.
Could I use your service?
If you'd like.
If I used it, would I look better as a result? I know I could use that. Don't you
No,
laugh.
I don't think so.
No, that's one down and 9 to go, Miss Francis.
Miss Neves, you are a very handsome girl. Do your looks help you in the job that you have? Are they an asset to the work that you do?
Always an asset.
Well, yes. Yes.
Do you come before photographers ever in your work?
No.
Well, now, wait just a moment. Miss Arlene, to be fair, we would have to agree that Miss Neves does appear occasionally.
And would be photographed?
To be photographed, yes.
I mean, if she was Miss Cotton Ball or something like that. Miss Neves, is the service that you perform a service that is a public relations kind of job?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Miss Neves, have you anything whatever to do with the entertainment world?
Yes.
Is it a kind of entertainment that we're engaged in at the moment? Do you do some work in television?
No.
That makes it 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
However, whatever you do, are you more or less behind the scenes rather than a performer yourself?
Not really.
Nope. 4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Gabel. We've got time for about one question.
Are you, since you're not in television, are you then in the theater?
No.
No, I wish we had a little more time because you're beginning to narrow it down. Actually, Miss Neves is a professional bass viol player. Plays in small clubs with an all-girl group, 2 or 4. Presently appearing in the lighthouse and shedding light. So, thank you very much. It's nice to have had you with us, and What's My Line? You figure it out. Martin Gabel, it's been nice to have you back with us
Great pleasure
again.
to be here, John.
It's been
Thank you.
lots of fun tonight. And good night, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
Good night, John. Good night, Martin. Come again soon.
Certainly will, Dorothy. Glad to see you. Thank you. Arlene, see you later.
It's always nice to have you with us. Wow. Good night, Bennett.
Good night. John, don't you think that last girl played a vile trick on us? Good night.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for being with us on What's My Line.
What's My Line is a CBS television network production in association with Mark Goodson and Bill Todman. This is Hal Sim speaking.